Mine, one that I want to start with is talent. I think every company right now is struggling to get the people they need, whether it's to attract talent, hold on to the talent they've got, develop the talent they're going to need for the future. And I know your organization is a big part of that conversation. What is it that when you have conversations in this space with people, what is it that you're saying?
Yeah, so I think in pharmaceutical space, talent has been a key pillar to everything that we do. And this whole space ended up changing completely when we got into personalized medicine. Now, it was no longer having the pool of people or talent that we have in our operations. They had to be different. They have to be different breed of individuals. This was no longer big, huge piece of machinery, equipment that we're using. Automation was available, but not to the same level as what we had in the space of biomanufacturing or cell culture manufacturing. So we had to start to kind of think a little bit about what are the type of people that we want to bring into our plants and operations, and the skill sets and the education that they come with it, because it was no longer pushing buttons, for lack of better terms, right? It was a little bit of these thought individuals, talented people, but it's in an operator or a QC setting. The analytics were not as simple as it used to be. They're complex. So you have to have a higher skilled individuals that we had to bring in to be able to do what we would consider in traditional form manufacturing operations. So this took a lot of thinking and a lot of planning and training, but not only just looking at those things from a training perspective. How do we build that? How do we build that as we grow this type of business? So working with colleges, working with career centers to be able to really go ahead and say, look, this is what we are looking for. How can we be a part of that entire journey of that student or that program, a biotech program, right? So this was something that we really had to dig deep into understanding and how to put that in place.
And I think also it's worth saying that the industry itself is rapidly expanding. So it's not even a question of meeting today's needs. It's, there's going to be 100 companies we've never heard of 10 years from now that are doing amazing work. They all need talented people, in the pipeline now so that they can hold senior positions down the road too.
Absolutely, because it is really imperative that we have the right type of talent that grow into the senior leadership roles. Now, being a senior leader in this advanced therapeutics is very different than to be a senior leader in traditional pharmaceutical space, right? Because the purpose of what we do is very different. At the same time, we are also dealing with some really new technologies. So it's no longer an operator and a QC team with an SOP that's been followed. There are a lot of automation and new technology that gets built. So we're also looking at leaders that are able to adapt to these very highly changing environments, not just following the standard path. And from a regulatory point of view, it's also in the same space. So we have to be able to have senior leaders that are open to having discussions with the teams and motivating them through different paths, right? At the same time, senior leaders that are willing to and brave enough to have those discussions with the regulators in quality, in compliance, right? To go ahead and explain and have that open conversation of how do we go ahead and bring this type of product into the market.